Okay, update on the 94 Mustang GT Convertible. Had to park it inside last night in my garage thanks to the convertible top not being able to go up. I think I needed another person to help me. The motor seems to work, but it's real slow, and those cables that are just loose, I really don't know what that has to do with anything. So I just parked it in the garage because it looked like it was going to rain. So this morning, I got up, went ahead and checked that carpet there just to make sure it was dry, which it is, so I can go ahead and put that in. But then I decided to go ahead and mess around with the horn. So I went ahead and tested the relay last night and hooked up a 9-volt battery and a couple alligator clips, and it was clicking, so that told me it worked. I went ahead and switched out another relay with that one, and it still didn't work. So the horn still didn't work. So I dug through the fuse box. It was kind of hard to figure out which one it is. The diagrams I found online finally told me it was this fuse right here, this 20 amp fuse. So I pulled it out, and I had a lot of trouble telling if the fuse was blown or not. The way that I remember fuses, where they were just a straight across little metal link from one side to the other, but this one is all different. And so what I ended up doing is just switching it with another 20 amp fuse, and then the horn worked. So that told me that 20 amp fuse was blown. So I'll just pull that other one out and put another 20 in. I got to go to the auto parts to read it, but there we go. So hornage. Okay, update on the 94 Mustang GT Convertible. I am exhausted. I have spent all day working on this thing, and it's late in the afternoon. Putting everything in the interior back was quite a job, but I think it was worth it. I think it actually looks pretty good. I'm surprised that the carpet is faded, but at least it's not faded and filthy. So it definitely looks better. I cleaned these seats in the back a little bit. The ones in the front were already pretty good. But that's quite a job, having to put all that back together again. And this little piece on top of the console, I'm gonna have to order a new one. It literally fell off when I took it off, so there was no repair in that. I mentioned earlier that I fixed the horn, and the other thing I haven't done yet is fix the speedometer. Everything I read, there's a piece underneath here. I'll have to put it up on ramps that controls that has some gears or whatever, and it's a potential issue. There's no fuses that are blown, any more fuses. So anyway, that's next. So good news, the 94 Mustang GT Convertible is pretty much ready to roll. I finished the interior. I realized that window there, I'm still having problems with it. I'm going to seek professional help for that. There's an independent guy that I want to have look at a couple things. I want to have him put some spacers in the on the coil springs to try to raise it at least half an inch. I don't like this whole lowered stuff. I'm tired of scraping things on the ground when you go over a little tiny bump. It really sucks. The other thing is I found out that rear brake light, the courtesy one that's right there, doesn't work. And I also found out that the cruise control didn't work. So I looked up the fuse for it online, the fuse diagram, and the fuses that are underneath the driver's side there was the #1 fuse, and it controlled both those things. And for some reason it had a 25 amp in there instead of a 15 amp. So I'm guessing that at some point somebody put the wrong fuse in there. I'm guessing because they thought that maybe it would keep it from blowing, and never mind the fire hazard, or that it would burn wires. And yeah, not the smartest thing ever. But I put the correct 15 amp fuse in there, and everything seems to work. My main concerns are getting it to inspection tomorrow. and that the horn works, and that third brake light works when I get it inspected. I tested all the lights. Everything works, all the turn signals, windshield wipers. So it should pass inspection tomorrow. I'm going to take a couple fuses just in case, so I can get it passed. But being that there's a history of this car getting wet, I'm just kind of guessing that there was something wet and blew the fuse, and they thought, hey, let's just stick a different fuse in there because that's either all I have, or maybe raise the fuse amperage, and you know, like I said, it would work, but you know, heck with the fire hazard. So more to come after inspection.